You know, every single growing business eventually hits a wall. You start out, you're fast, you're nimble, but as you get bigger, you have to add some structure to handle the chaos, right? And the intention is always good. But what happens? You just end up slower, more frustrated, and totally stuck. So today, we're going to dissect why that happens and, way more importantly, how to actually build for speed.
Decision molasses. Isn't that the perfect phrase for it? It's that sticky, slow-moving quicksand where even simple tasks become just bafflingly complex. You were trying to pave this super highway for efficiency, but somehow you ended up in a total gridlock traffic jam. Sound familiar? Yeah, I thought so. Let's get into how a company's best intentions can accidentally kill all its momentum.
And that, right there, that's the heart of it. An invisible line. See, on one side, you've got systems that give you leverage and make you faster. But on the other side, you've got systems that put you in a chokehold. It's like this silent killer of productivity that just creeps in, disguised as best practices, until you're completely bogged down and just wondering, what happened to us?
Okay, let's really dive into this, because if you want to solve the problem, you first have to diagnose it, right? We have got to clearly define the two forces at play here, process and bureaucracy. Now, they might look like cousins, but believe me, one is your greatest ally and the other is your absolute worst enemy. And telling them apart, that's a total game changer.
So first up, good old process. You know, think of a great process like a really good recipe for a cake. It doesn't stifle your creativity or tell you exactly how to decorate it, but it does make sure you don't forget the flour. It just gives you a clear, reliable path so you're not reinventing the wheel every single time. It's a support system, and it's designed to make you faster and more effective.
And then, well, then there's this. Bureaucracy. This is when that simple recipe turns into a 50-page legal document. It's what happens when process completely loses its soul. Suddenly, it's not about helping anymore, it's all about controlling. This is the world where you literally need 5 signatures to buy a new computer mouse, and you end up spending more time filling out the form than doing the work the mouse was actually for.
This right here perfectly lays out the core conflict. Just look at the language. Process is outcome-focused. It asks, hey, did we achieve the goal? But bureaucracy, it's compliance-focused. It only asks, did you follow the rules? See, one empowers teams by pushing decisions down to the experts, while the other just creates delays by demanding approval from people who are miles away from the actual work.
So, we've defined the terms, but let's get real for a second. What does this actually feel like in your day-to-day work? Because this isn't just theory, right? This is the difference between going home at the end of the day feeling energized and going home feeling completely and totally drained. Let's talk about the daily experience of being supported versus being suffocated. That is the dream right there. It just works. A truly great process, it just fades into the background. It's kind of like good plumbing or super fast Wi-Fi. You don't even think about it. It's just there, clearing the path, freeing up all your mental energy to focus on the problems that actually matter.
And then there's the other side of the coin, that soul-crushing reality of bureaucracy. And this stuff is anything but invisible. Now, it's loud. It's the meeting marathons where everybody talks and nobody decides anything. It's that little knot in your stomach, that fear of making a decision because you might be breaking some unwritten rule. This is the stuff that makes people stop caring about doing great work and start caring only about not getting in trouble.
But here's the good news, okay? It does not have to be this way. You are not doomed to drown in that decision molasses. There is an antidote to this organizational poison, and the goal isn't no process, it's intelligent structure. So how do we build it?
Well, it really comes down to 4 key disciplines. First, question everything. Constantly ask, does this rule actually help us win? 2, design for the 80%, not the 1%. Don't build some convoluted system just for a super rare edge case. 3, and this one is vital, push authority down. You have to trust the people on the ground. And 4, be a gardener. You have to regularly prune and remove the processes that have turned into weeds. These 4 simple habits can literally transform an organization.
And hey, this isn't just some theory. The highest performing companies in the world live this stuff. At Toyota, any worker on the assembly line can pull a cord, the andon cord, and stop the entire production line if they see a flaw. That's not control from the top, that is empowerment right at the edge. And companies like Amazon, they wage a daily war on bureaucracy because they know it's a weed that'll grow back the second you stop pulling it. They treat their structure like a tool, not a tomb.
Which brings us right to the heart of the matter. We've covered the what and the how, but you know, there's a deeper truth underneath it all. There is one single, fundamental mindset shift,
one core idea that separates the companies that fly from the ones that get stuck in the mud.
And here it is. The single most important difference isn't the document or the form or the flowchart, it's the intent behind it. See, a good process is born from a genuine desire to improve outcomes, to make things faster, better, higher quality. But bureaucracy is born from a desire to control behavior, and it's almost always driven by a lack of trust.
When your intent is to empower and to improve, every single system you create acts like a booster rocket, just propelling the entire organization forward. It builds this unstoppable momentum. But when the underlying intent is all about fear-based control, every new rule you add acts like a boat anchor. It just adds friction. It creates drag. It generates this massive resistance to the very change you claim you want to make.
So that's the question. That's the one to take back to your team. Look at the systems you operate in every single day, from how you run meetings to how you approve projects, and ask yourself, honestly, is this structure here to help us achieve something great, or is it just here to control us? The answer? Well, the answer tells you everything.